Today, we're going to talk about something that might completely change the way that you see your life, all right? Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever met someone and it instantly felt like you've known them forever? Have you ever walked into a place that you've never been before, but you swear that it feels like home or that you've been there before? Have you ever had a dream that was so vivid that you're in a certain time period and you woke up and you're like, what year is it? Well, this is not random. These are whispers from your soul. And you didn't randomly end up here in this life. Your soul chose this life, every bit of it. Why would I choose my family? Why would I choose this pain? Why would I choose this struggle? Let me explain something that Spirit has shown me again and again and again. And that is, Earth is a school, right? Not the kind with desks, not the kind with homework, but a soul school. And you come here to learn through experience, through emotions, through relationships. Because before you were born, your soul was on the other side planning. And I'm not speaking metaphorically. There's actually a planning process. You sit down with your spirit guides. You sit down with members of your soul family. You even sit down with the souls that are going to play major roles in your life. And altogether, you map out the themes of your life that you're going to work on. Now, not every detail, right? But the themes. Now, I'm talking about it like this. Think about it this. This is the best way. Think of it like choosing a major, biology or business. Well, that's what your soul says. Your soul says, this lifetime, I might want to master self-love, or I might want to learn forgiveness. Or this lifetime, I might want to find my voice. Your soul has been here before, and this isn't your first time on Earth. And with each lifetime, it builds on the last. If you didn't fully master something, guess what? You get another shot at it. That's growth. That's what makes this so beautiful. Now, here's where most people sit up and really pay attention. You didn't just choose your life lessons. You chose your setup. You chose your parents. Yes, I know. Even if the relationships were complicated. You chose your siblings. You chose your birthplace. You chose the timing of your birth. The people who become your best friends. The ones who become your life partners. And yes, even the ones who would challenge you the most. Why would I choose to be born into such an abusive family? And that question comes from real pain. Well, when I connected with her spirit guide, here's what I saw. I saw that her soul was strong, incredibly strong. That she didn't choose abuse, and that free will exists. It really exists. People make their own choices, but she chose a life where she would learn resilience, where she would learn boundaries, and she would break generational trauma. How many of you can relate? And from what that spirit showed me, I saw that she was doing exactly what she came to do. Now, here's what I need you to know. Sometimes the hardest beginnings produce the strongest souls. Now, I need to clear something up. A soul contract is not a cage. It's not destiny carved in stone. It's more like a GPS. It knows where you want to grow. But you can also take detours. You can resist, right? You can also speed up the lessons if you want, or you can delay them. You have free will. Your contract outlines opportunities for growth, but it doesn't force events. You know, I once connected with a mother whose son had passed away from illness, and she asked me, was this all part of his soul contract? Well, when his spirit came through, he showed me something so powerful. He knew that his lifetime would be brief, but his soul also realized that his contract wasn't about suffering. It was about impact, about love, about awakening dozens of people spiritually through his life. He chose a short, powerful life, not a long, unfulfilled one. You know, from the soul's perspective, time is not measured the way that we measure it. So we need to talk about this big question. If we choose our lives, why do we choose our pain? Well, because growth happens the fastest through contrast. Now, I know it's not comforting, especially if you're in the middle of something right now. But think about your own life. When have you grown the most? When have you discovered your true inner strength? When did your compassion deepen? It probably came after a struggle. Your soul doesn't fear challenges. Your soul sees them as training sessions, like an athlete that's preparing for a marathon. From the other side, you're not weighed down by fear. You're in clarity, in love, and your soul says, I want to master forgiveness. Well, if you want to master this, you have to find someone to forgive or something to forgive, right? You might say, I want to learn unconditional love. Well, that might require loving someone imperfect. You might say, I want to know my strength. Well, strength only shows up when being tested. And then when you return home to heaven after this life, you'll understand it and you'll understand all of it. You'll see how every piece fits together. So let's talk about past lives. Past lives do explain patterns. Have you ever wondered why you're naturally gifted at something that you've never studied? Or why a certain culture feels familiar? Why does a certain fear feel so real? Well, it's because your soul remembers. I once did a reading for a man who was terrified of water. He had no trauma in his lifetime, but when I contacted his spirit, I saw this one thing. I saw that he drowned in a past life. Well, his soul remembered. And when he understood that, guess what? The fear loosened, because awareness brings healing. Your past lives are like your soul's resume. Everything that you learned comes with you. Now let's talk about people, because the people in your life, they're not random either. That instant connection, soul family. That unexplainable tension, well, probably soul family too, right? You travel together again and again and again through lifetimes. Sometimes you're the parents, sometimes you're the child, sometimes you're the best friend, sometimes you're the villain, but the roles change. The love underneath it does that. Soulmates are not just romantic. They're souls that you have come in contact with, that you've loved over decades. And sometimes the person who hurt you the most is a soul who you've loved enough to play a different role that you could grow. That doesn't exclude behavior, but it reframes the lesson in a way, because you understand the bigger picture. Something shifts. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you say, what is this teaching me? You begin to see patterns, you begin to see purpose, and you realize that you are not the victim, right, of this random chaos. You're a soul that's navigating a chosen experience. And here's something that I need you to remember. You're not doing this alone. The same guides who have helped you plan your life are still with you right now. That's why you have a spirit guide and a guardian angel. They send signs, they nudge you, they open doors, they close doors, they cheer you when you step into alignment. Living with this awareness changes everything. The small stuff doesn't shake you as much. The big stuff feels survivable. You begin responding instead of reacting, and you start aligning with your choices that have purpose. And here's what I want you to know. Spiritually awake really means not floating above reality, not being fully in it, but it talks about living life through a different perspective. Whether it's your first time here or your 15th time here on earth, right? You are here for a reason. This exact time, this exact place, these exact circumstances. Your soul chose this moment in history. And when your life is done, when you return home, when you reunite with your soul family, you review what you've learned. And yes, you're probably starting to plan another chapter, if you so choose, right? Your soul chooses to be here. So make it count. Lean into the lessons. Trust the growth. And remember that you're so much more powerful than you think. If you want to go deeper into understanding your soul's journey, because the truth is, you already have access. Your soul remembers. So think about that for a minute. Think about what you were put here to do. Think about your challenges, not being challenges, but being part of your divine planning process. Sitting down with your angels, your guides, your family members before you enter here on earth. We learn certain life lessons, and as we go through life, we also understand why we went through the pain, why we went through the suffering, why other people came into our lives and then left so abruptly. How about karma protection? This is all about how the good things that you do actually come back around and protect you in ways that you don't even realize. So, have you ever held the door open for someone and they walked right past you, didn't even acknowledge you? Or maybe you helped someone pick up their groceries in a parking lot, and instead of a thank you, you got attitude. Or maybe you went way out of your way for someone and it felt like you didn't even matter at all. Well, I'm going to tell you something that's going to completely change how you see every good thing that you do. And here's what you need to know. The universe is keeping score. And trust me, it has much better memory than the person who just ignored you or treated you unfairly. I want you to picture a piggy bank. Every time that you drop in a coin, you hear a little clink. You might not see what's happening inside, but those coins are stacking up. Well, that's exactly how karma works. Except your piggy bank isn't sitting on a shelf. It's in heaven. And your angels, guess what? They are the ones who are making the deposits. Every time that you choose kindness, clink. Every time that you bite your tongue instead of saying something mean or hateful, clink, clink. Every single time that you show compassion when it would have been easier just to walk away, right? Guess what? Clink, clink, clink. You're making a deposit. And here's the most beautiful part. You don't need witnesses. You don't need applause. You don't even need a thank you. Why? Because heaven sees it all. And you want to know something incredible? Because this is something I think about all the time. I can't tell you how many times during readings spirits have come through to say thank you for the things that nobody else knew about, for the things that nobody else has seen that you have done. Well, your loved ones in heaven see the way that you treat people. They see the extra tip that you leave. They see the text message that you send to check up on someone. They see you choosing patience when it would have been easier just to snap and blow up. You are never performing in an empty room. Now let's talk about the hard part. What about when people don't appreciate you or take advantage of you, right? This is something that I get asked about all the time. What about when you feel like you're the only one that's trying? Well, I gotta tell you, I've had clients tell me that they've been the one being kind and it felt like it was just pointless. But here's the one thing the Spirit has shown me over and over and over again. The value of your kindness is not determined by the one receiving it. It's determined by heaven. You know, I once did a reading for a woman who had spent years caring for her very difficult mother-in-law. No thank you, no gratitude, criticism until the very end. And listen, I'm smiling because I know that some of you can relate to this. She was burned out and bitter. Well, when her mother went to the other side and came through in a reading, she was different, softer. And she said, I see it now. Every meal, every ride to the doctor, every moment of patience, I see what you did for me. And I'm sorry. But here's the most important part. Even before her spirit acknowledged it, heaven had already recorded it. Her karma account was overflowing, not because someone said thank you, but because she chose love when love was really hard. Now, here's something else that I really want you to understand. Karma has perfect timing, but it doesn't always pay out when you expect it. But it always pays out when you need it the most. Now, I've seen this happen over and over and over again in so many ways. Someone who quietly helped out others for years suddenly finds themselves surrounded by love and support during their darkest hour. Or the person who always gave without asking for anything somehow always had a way of having what they needed when the time was right. Well, that's not coincidence, that's balance. And guess what it is? It's actually energy returning, good energy returning. I had a client who volunteered every Saturday morning at a soup kitchen. No posts about it, no recognition. I don't even think many people even knew that he did it. Well, years later, when he lost his job and when he was about to lose his apartment, a man approached him in a coffee shop. That man had been someone that he served years earlier. Well, guess what? He now owned a business and his life was back on track. And in that moment, he offered him a job on the spot. That's not random. That's karma coming back in full circle. And here's what people misunderstand about karma. They think it's all about big, dramatic acts. For example, saving someone's life, donating thousands of dollars, right? Or even huge gestures. Well, I want you to know it's not like that at all. Heaven doesn't measure in that way. Your angels do count the smile that you gave to the cashier, the compliment that you gave to someone who was doubting themselves. They even count the little things. For example, the 5 extra minutes that you stayed on the phone because someone just needed to vent. Those are all deposits, small acts. They're repeating and they repeat consistently and they add up so much faster than you think. Now, let me tell you something very, very powerful. When spirits come through in readings, they don't talk about their bank accounts. They actually don't even mention money at all. They don't talk about status. They don't talk about promotions. They talk about moments and memories. The time that they were kind, the time that they forgave, the time that they chose love. Guess what? Those are the things that matter over there. That's what matters on the other side. And that's what's also being recorded here. And here's something else that Spirit has shown me repeatedly. Good karma doesn't just come back as blessings. It comes back as protection, divine protection. When your karma balance is strong, it creates a kind of energetic shield all around you. Situations that could have gone really, really badly don't. Accidents that could have been made much, much worse aren't. Toxic people who could have caused chaos somehow just move along. Your angels can now override free will. But here's the catch. When you build up good karma, it gives them more room to work on things on your behalf and more ways to protect you, more ways to guide you. Just think about that for one moment. Every time that you choose kindness, you're not just helping someone else, you're strengthening your own karma protection. So here's something that I want you to remember, okay? And remember that I'm telling you this. The next time that you do something and nobody else notices from the bottom of your heart, remember, you made a deposit. The next time that you say thank you, you still made a deposit, okay? I should say, excuse me, the next time someone doesn't say thank you, you made a deposit, right? Their reaction is about their karma. Your action is about your karma. Keep your account clean. Keep it strong. Keep choosing love. And don't do it for the payout, right? Do it because that's who you are and that's who you're becoming. Because one day, probably when you least expect it, something will happen. For example, an opportunity, a door opening, a path changing, a moment of protection, or a blessing that you cannot explain. You'll think of it as luck, but it won't be. It will be your piggy bank right there, paying you out for all of those moments that you were kind. So here's your assignment from heaven. Start noticing your own kindness, not to brag, not to keep score, right? Noticing it and just acknowledging it. Because every time you do, you remind yourself, I made a deposit today. I want you to feel good about that. Trust that heaven has never missed a payment. Your loved ones in the spirit are watching you grow right now. And they see the person that you're becoming. So I want you to do one thing. I want you to make them proud. And I also want you to make yourself proud and watch what happens when you keep making deposits.